Since Becca read this on one night, I think she
What?
should
It
jump
was
her.
not one night.
Please tell me she's lying.
It was
She was
not
so
one
quick
night.
though. It
Oh
was
my god.
I
2 days.
really like it. What it was 2 days. It was like 48 hours. I couldn't put this one down.
Okay, that's not bad though. Where's my thing? Okay, yeah. Do you want to start, Becca? Since you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. Don't judge me. I thought this was a judge.
I don't judge. I wish I
judgment.
could read as fast as you.
You'll get there one of these days. But I really liked this one. Like I was saying, yeah, read it in 2 days. Could have put down. I'm going to give it a 9. The urge to find the second book and read it immediately was very extreme. So yeah, 9 out of 10. And then the chili peppers are out of 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't think that this one had a lot, and I think it's just the beginning of their story. So I'm just gonna give it a 2 for now. Definitely some sparks flying, but nothing too crazy for me.
Okay. So I'll give this one. I'm going to give this. I honestly want to say a 9 out of 10. Very close to 9.5. And I'm gonna say for chili peppers, I'm gonna say 3.5. And my reasoning for chili peppers is because the spice scenes we got were long and detailed, so I'd have to like it was almost like Sarah J. Maas type. Like it was multiple pages, not just like one page or one paragraph and you're done. So I liked that, and I also am kind of, which I never really do, but their flirtatiousness, if that's a word, was like so strong and so like made me start kicking my feet that I want to add it to the spice meter. And then, yeah, for regular rating, I thought it was really good. I did like the Hunger Games type, like, trope the story had, like, plot line, like, to the death kind of thing. I like stories like that a lot. And I did expect a couple things at the end, but I didn't expect the main ending, which I can appreciate because I feel like I can tell endings all the time now. So, yeah, I really liked it.
I think, wow, I'm actually surprised that yours was like higher than mine, but I'd probably give this like an 8.5 out of 10. Only because it was just took me a while to get into in the beginning. But that happens with every book with, the world building and everything. So it just took me a while to really get into. But once I did, I kind of like rushed through the rest of the book. In terms of chili peppers, I'd probably give it a 2.5. I think it was good. Like for me, I like a mix. I don't want too much spice. Like I don't want it to be 5 because I still like a lot of plot. And this book had that. So it had plot and then there's spice in it and there was like romance in it. So I felt like it was a good mixture, but I like probably my spice probably like a 3. I think if she would have put one more chapter of spice in this book, then it would have been perfect for me. That probably would have increased my rating probably to like that 9 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I felt about it. But I felt like when we got those chapters, like you said, it was really long. And my thing, I got a thing for vampires. So that like fight scene that had me, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm hooked. That was it.
For sure.
I was like, that scene was like my favorite. I put a little tabby upwards on my book instead of sideways, so I know where it is at all times.
Come back to later,
Yep.
That's good though that we all liked it. I was a little nervous just because everybody talks so highly about this. They were saying, I don't know if you saw this, Becca, but once or twice I saw like the next ACOTAR type of thing.
I did see that,
Yeah.
and I definitely felt felt it with I kind of like in the series with like the cliffhanger endings, and we were talking about the endings. Like you mentioned, Megan, I have my suspicions, and I think it's because we've been burned and we've been hurt so much. And this one totally caught me off guard. And
Yeah.
I feel like Agatar, that's the reason why you keep picking up the books,
Mm-hmm.
is the cliffhangers, and you absolutely need to get the next one. Like, I was thoroughly upset. Not to put some anything on you guys, but I was like, I wish I was reading this alone so I could just pick up book 2.
Oh, I was just going to talk about like the book in general and how it was kind of written
Yeah.
by the author. I really appreciate how she did it, where we got a prelude, then it went into like present day, and then in between every single part there was another like flashback, there was another interlude, and that just gave you a little more foresight. I think if she would have told us like the whole story or relationship between her and Vincent like out front, like I don't know if it would have been as powerful of a story compared to the way that how she did it. I think the way that she did this book was kind of genius, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we were so hooked to it.
Yeah, because it's giving you a little bit of a taste each time. Because it really does, like the whole twist about her lineage, her parentage. Like, if you read those chapters of like the past and stuff, you can get little hints that she's not normal. So it's like, but you don't think about that when you're reading it until you get the big twist. But I agree.
Still a lot of questions. Like I only finished the book this morning. I only had 10 pages last night, but I was so tired and I was like, all right, I could finish it in the morning. But I feel like I have to go back.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand everything entirely what happened. Because the ending was just like crazy.
Yeah. Out of left field.
Yeah.
And that's why I like ate it up so fast, because like you mentioned, the parts of the book with the competition, I loved each part, and then the flashbacks, and then it gets us thinking, and the whole time I was so suspicious of Vincent, and I was like, he's hiding something, he's doing something, he's using her.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm right. But, and then I was like flipping back to the flashbacks of, you know, I think she was like 5 or 6 years old when she was quote unquote found. And I was like, there's so much foreshadowing, but I was like, not trusting Vincent, but I was right not to trust him. I was going through all the emotions.
I think, oddly enough, I don't have blue tabs, but oddly enough, I think towards the end I did shed a little tear, got misty-eyed, because you really did want to root against Vincent. Like, she really played that so well, of, like, making you fall in love with him as a father figure, and then slowly stripping you of that. It's almost like you're the one being deceived. So then at the end, when it's just like he's doing things that she didn't ever think that he was going to do, like kill that like entire village, with humans, children, women, like, then you start to feel like things. So even though it hurt, I did like that she did that, especially at the end with him dying. I was just like, oh god, this hit me in the daddy issues so hard. Like, so unexpectedly hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
You go first. I know you really like this book.
Oh yeah, I was like so excited. I really thought him mentioning, like, you know, the always watch your back, strike true at the heart, like never trust anyone, you're human in the world of vampires, was just like foreshadowing, like he was going to betray her, like never trust him.
Yeah.
And then I like hated that. I was like, don't let rain in, and then like we fell for him, and then sure enough, he turned on her, and I was like, oh my god, everything that Vincent said, he actually did love her. He wasn't using her for the Korete to get that bond to like rule forever. And I was like, why would he turn her? He should have just turned her, and then they could rule, you know, hand in hand. But I understood that he kept her as a human because, like, they were saying the sons and daughters, if they got too strong, they would just kill them off. I was just going through all the emotions. Never expected that Ray did what he did. I'm sure we'll get into that though. But Bree, what were you gonna say?
I don't even know how to feel about, first off, both of them. As I messaged you guys this morning, guys, I don't know how to feel. Because I did not trust Vincent in the very beginning. And, like, I don't... Like, I think he had good intentions. I think he truly did care for her. But it almost felt like a sort of like a prisoner situation, or like... I don't know. Just like when somebody is so easily influenced, right? Like when your world is just so small and you have one person telling you what's right and what's wrong, and she doesn't really have like the chance to make her own decisions about those things, because Vincent is the one who's telling her, you know, that he's the only one that's ever going to protect her, sort of, or it's the only person that will ever mean it when he says that he's never going to hurt her or that he cares for her. But I'm like, does he though? Is he just using that to manipulate her? Is that why he's saying that? Because he has so much influence on Oriah. So that's what I was worried about. And then I don't know if I should have liked him, because also Oriah's sitting there telling us, like, yeah, he's a ruthless ass guy. Like, he murdered a bunch of people, including his family members, in order to rise to power. Like, you could be evil but still have a child and love your child. But, like, I don't know if Oriah could agree with what he did. I don't know. I felt very... I didn't know how to like Vincent, because I also felt like he was a bad guy because he was a vampire. But at the same time, it was also her father. But I wasn't sure if that was a manipulative relationship. Even towards the end, even when he finally was like, I love you, or whatever, I thought that was sweet that he loved her, but he still murdered 500,000 people right before he said any of that. So I'm like, all right, I don't know how to feel about him. So I still don't know how to feel about him. I think I need more information from another book. I don't know if more is going to come out about her relationship with Vincent or the information that he held from her. I guess for you guys, is it true, set in stone, when you read it, that she is half human, half vampire?
Yes.
At the end?
Yes.
Like, it is
Yeah.
100% that he is her actual father.
Yeah.
Biological father, yeah.
Where did you guys necessarily get that? Like, I didn't... When I read that, I heard that it was an assumption, but she was still like, I'm human. You know, she was still saying she was human.
I think she's...
And I didn't know where that information, like, came from. It was like they were thinking about it because she had the mark now.
So I think that when she says she's human, I think that's honestly her telling herself, because she doesn't want to be a vampire. Because she has hated them her whole life. So I think her saying, I'm still human, is just her trying to convince herself, because she doesn't want to turn into the thing she hated. But I didn't tab towards the end because I was so into it.
Yeah, I know.
I was literally just flipping through. I think, yeah, the air mark, like, seals the deal. Like, you can only have that through blood, and because Vincent passed, she got it, so, like, that makes us know that it has to be through blood. And then, like what Megan was saying, she was convincing herself, but, like, we know biologically she's a human. All the vampires react to her scent, her blood, all of that, because she's human. So I wonder if there's a little more to that, like biologically, maybe, like, you know, she has that vampiric side of her as well. But, like, one more thing, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, is this just assumed? Is this like Nyaxia? I'm gonna mispronouncing it, playing a trick. But then also, like, her not being able to use magic originally, I think also is like another humanness about her. But
Yeah.
I think it's still assumed. It wasn't like 100% clear, but also, like, I don't think we'll ever get that answer. Vincent's dead. He's the only one with the answer who knows, like, her lineage, but she has the air mark, which can't be. I think there was a sentence that said, like, it can't be faked or forged or something like that.
Do you think Jasmine would know? Because she was so close to Vincent?
No.
That's a good question, but I think that she became his general when she was, like, you know, 10 or 11 or so, so, like, she might not know everything about her.
I also think
birth.
Vincent wouldn't have told anybody.
That too,
Because
they would have killed her automatically.
Exactly. Or they would have expected him to kill her.
They would have known there would have been another heir.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't.
So on the bottom...
It's on page of... Oh, sorry, I was going to say, it's on page 438, like, when she does, like, kind of confirm it. But
Yeah.
Vincent, my father, and...
Yep.
my father in spirit, and italicized in blood was dead.
Yep.
But before that, she was having a conversation with Rain, I guess, in terms of like he found me, but then it was like, why was he there? Like, I want to know more of that story, and maybe I have to read the first part again and go back to like the prelude, like when he found her.
So I think when he found her, I think you're overthinking this a little bit, because I think they're gonna elaborate on it. Because when they did the prelude, I don't even think they said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Becca, but I don't think they even said anything. Like, it was just like, all she remembers is that she was in a destroyed village, and his comrades found her, and they were gonna kill her, or they were gonna suck her blood. And then he found her, and he was like, no, she's a little serpent, because she kept trying to, like, stab him. And then he took her home. I really don't think there was any indication at all about, like, who the mother might be, or why he was there. I really think we're going to get that in the next book. Because I think she's going to, like, find somebody. Maybe it's this Jessamine. Maybe she knows. I don't think she does, but you never know. I think she's going to try to find somebody to get the answers, because obviously she can't get them from the source.
That's why I have two theories. Definitely Vincent knew which house to go to, and he got there just in time, because even Rain asks the question, why was the king of, the vampires, how did he know to go to this single house when he commanded armies of like tens of thousands? So, and he got there just in time and took her, and and everyone was kind of questioning him, why would you take such interest in a human child? So I definitely think he knew, or he got that siege on the town for a specific reason, and went to that house for a specific reason. So like, and Rain even pointed out, and like was using that to kind of undermine and kind of gaslight Araya. Why was he there at this specific house on that specific day and grabbed you of all people, a tiny little girl who was biting them? And my theory is how she might find out more is they were alluding to Nyaxia always. She kind of seems a little bitter, going through the timeline that she can never get over. I'm wondering if they were always going back in her past and her hardships. I kind of was seeing like a parallel between Nyaxia and Araya, like their past. Like they had to fight for what they wanted. They were betrayed. They found their love, and then it was like ripped away. And then they're Nyaxia is making everyone pay for that consequence and live through that. So I'm wondering, since she won the Kajari, but gave that power over to Rain, if they're still somewhat connected. And even Nyaxia said something that made me like very curious when she won, and Nyaxia said something, and I'll have to get back to it because I tapped it, but I don't know where it is. That made me think like, oh, Nyaxia's taking like a real interest in Araya. Anyway, that might be a little far-fetched, but I think that's where we might get some answers, is like Nyaxia likes to go back into the past, so maybe Araya will go back into her past because she won and might find some answers there. Because like, other than Jessamine, I don't know who else would know how or why Vincent came to make her with whichever human woman.
Let's also not forget, too, she lost her memory from before she was, I think, 10.
Yeah.
So any life that she had before he found her, she doesn't know. She doesn't remember. So I think we might get some of that, too, like, going, because I think she's dead, this character, but, I think her name is Katari or something, or Carissa, something like that. And Vincent said she's useless in fighting, but her magic is astounding. Like, she shields your mind against her. So I think there's probably, my theory is that there's going to be more people out there like that she can befriend, and they're going to help her open her mind to her past. And unforget it, like to get it back.
I'm genuinely interested because I feel like I missed a lot of stuff reading through this. So, like, I want to know what you guys think and, like, note where you guys saw that.
Yeah, so I'm now rereading it. I think it more pertains to Rain, but also like Nyaxia is just kind of like obsessed with time. So on 415, she says, "Such a pure love distilled forever in its innocence, a flower float frozen in bloom." So like I know it's more toward Rain when he initially died, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like freaking out about that part, but yeah, I think like I just have that theory that she's like the parallels between their strife, their love, everything pretty much getting taken away from them, and then them having like the ultimate power and the betrayals. Like I really feel like something's gonna go on between these two.
I feel like something is like, I don't know, like we're gonna get a little bit of backstory between Nyaxia and Rain, just because she says, "My, what a long time it's been. Even fate did not know if I would see this face again." And all he said was likewise. So, yeah.
I just have so many questions. Still, at the end of this book, I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah, I'm reading... Pretty much just reading the last couple pages.
Yeah, and also Rain being the Rashan King, like that whole story.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
No.
I had a feeling he was like some sort of royalty, and because going all the way back, I tabbed this one because of this. Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
Wait, well, he was turned into the king somehow, but he was a slave originally.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't, but he was never of royal blood. Does that make sense?
No,
Yeah.
but he like yeah, by name.
I think he got on the technicality pretty much.
Yeah, like a Baratheon, pretty much. The Baratheons aren't supposed to be on the Iron Throne, but they are. Where the fuck? It was at the beginning of the book. Where did I? So the part where she is in the study, or not the study, it's the palace with the paintings. Oh my god.
Before the Kajari starts?
Yeah, it says 284. I mean, she goes back to it again, but says...
She talks about it a couple of times.
Yeah, I was struck by how much it reminded me of the painting in the Great Hall of Vincent's Castle, that one Rashan falling, reaching, more beautiful now than tragic. I think that's Rain, and why that is him, I don't know, but...
Actually depicted in the picture.
And because I think she didn't know who was standing in front of the painting. Because the first time she saw it, she saw a man standing in front. But she didn't know him. So I think that, for some reason, obviously he was standing in front of it. But, for some reason, that's him. In that painting.
Did it mention in the painting the color of the person's hair? Because she mentioned a couple times Rain's hair was like that.
It was like
that
auburn.
Reddish,
Yeah.
right? And I didn't put this together until now. You just said that.
See, I didn't tag it the first time.
Me neither. I didn't think it was that important, but you're right. She did mention the painting a couple times.
It was before the Kajari.
Before the Kajari, it was like when they went to the party. It's
Yeah, it
here
was like
somewhere.
a banquet or something.
But the party was before her friend was murdered, right?
Yes.
It was before. It was like the night before they even took her, like everyone, to the thing, because she thought she had more time.
Also, oh my goodness, that was fucked up.
Oh yeah. Of all people that had to be involved in that, right? It had to be her friend.
I'm not sure if you guys watched this anime. It was giving very much like Promised Neverland vibes, where
Oh yeah.
some humans were just kind of farmed up for food and then just like torn apart.
That first episode was crazy.
Crazy, right? So as I was reading that, and even toward the end when Rain takes over and they were just like humans were like writhing on the tables like
Yeah.
as dinner plates, I was like, oh my goodness, this is reminding me of Promised Neverland.
Season 1 only though.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about season 2.
Yeah, season 2
Don't
doesn't
even.
exist.
Don't go there.
That hot pile of garbage is what that season was called.
I really want to find this picture thing.
Yeah.
I know, it's gonna bother me. Sorry
It's
I brought it up.
bothering. No. This is what this book club is for.
Oh, wait. I found it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Page 30. Alright. My eyes fell the other side of the room. Figure was so still that my gaze nearly passed by. He stood at the opposite end of the ballroom, far beyond the debauchery of the dance floors, back to me. Stared at many paintings. I knew the painting well. It was the smallest in the ballroom. The canvas narrow and long, star-dotted indigo blue at the top that gradually darkened to deep red. It depicted a lone figure, a Rashan vampire, falling, frozen halfway to its death, in the center of the frame. His nude body was mostly covered by dark feathered wings, splayed out round him save for a single outstretched hand, reaching desperately for something he could see, but we could not.
So maybe that's the red I was remembering, not his hair, but...
Yeah, I don't think she says... Because then she goes into the painting about how she can compare.
Put my tabbies back.
Oh, no, you're right. He said, she says, he glanced over his shoulder, directed at me. His eyes were rust red, striking enough color to be visible even from across the room. And he has red eyes, right?
Yeah, he has red eyes and red hair.
Yeah. So she saw the eyes. That was it. Also, that painting reminds me of the Fall of Icarus.
I thought the same thing with the outstretched hand.
Yeah, almost like reaching for the sun. But yeah, that's my theory. I don't know really how. Unless it's not him and it's like someone, unless it's the guy who made him. I don't know. It's just interesting to me that he would be staring at it.
Hopefully we find out more.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact that, like, the one thing that I kind of, not predictable, but the one thing I kind of already knew was that Rain somewhat had a secret, like, the whole quote-unquote royalty thing. There were kind of a couple indicators where I was like, yeah. And the way that his friend Michelle kind of treated him, like, she treated him, like, nicely, but also, like, doing whatever he says. Which I think other players in this competition were doing the same thing. But, I mean, I felt like a certain type of way of how she was like, oh, I wish Rain had won. And then he's like, alright, cool, thanks for that. Anyway, and then went on his way to grant his wish. Like, he wasn't even like, he didn't even stop and be like, you know what, thank you so much. I was at God's pearly gates just now, and he brought me back. No, he's like, anyway,
here's my wish.
Yeah, I was like,
and I'm gonna kill your dad.
Fuck? Yeah, thanks so much. I'm gonna kill your fucking dad now. That was just, oof. Oh.
I think, just kind of, I guess maybe backtrack. Did you guys feel like Rain would have done that in the beginning? Were you feeling like this man was going to betray you? I'm saying you because that's how I felt. I'm betrayed by everybody.
Oh, if we had thought back in the beginning, like when we met him. Yeah, and I only say that because there's another series, I'm not going to say the name, there's another series that I love that they do the same thing in the first book, which following the blueprint, I soak it up each time, it's fine, I don't care. But they did the same fucking thing to the point where I had to buy the second book immediately because I could not move on. So I knew it was coming, just not in this way, and this way kind of like really got me good.
Yeah, I felt like it was coming, and then we were all falling in love with Rain, and then I let my guard down just like Araya did, and then bit us in the ass. Because I was like, yeah, you sleep in that greenhouse. I was like, yeah, you bleed out. You don't go crawling for help.
You don't need no man. You
good. No man. You are a strong, independent human. And then once they start getting closer through the trials, and then in the apartment, and I think what really said it for me was the fire. Like, he could have just let her burn in the fire, but came back, and I was like, oh man, they really care for each other, so cute. And then I was getting really concerned with who was going to win the Kashari. And then he was dying, and I was like, what's gonna happen? And then yeah, he just bounced back. I imagine the scene as like, in all the movies when they wake up from death, they're taking that big breath. Niax and kill his dad. Kill her dad.
It's almost like he got up, he like cracked his neck, he's like anyway.
How the
moving on.
turntables.
How the turntables have turned. Yeah, I had two theories, kind of like when we were getting to the home stretch. I either thought one, it was gonna be like the Hunger Games, where they're both at the end and they're both gonna kill themselves, because then like what do you do? But at the same time, I was like, I don't think Nyaxia really gives a fuck. Like, she kind of just doesn't care either way. She wants the blood. That's the point. And my other theory was that, and I kind of wanted it to come true, was that Abraham, the like crippled dude. That's a horrible thing to say. Let me backtrack. Abraham, the guy with the like broken teeth and broken wings and stuff like that. I really thought he was gonna be like one of the final ones against her. Like there was something really hidden, because we didn't really see anything that he did, and she kind of made an assumption. She was like, oh, I didn't think he'd make it this far, but you don't come into this competition if you don't know what you're doing, kind of thing. Like, not to underestimate him. So the fact that he is so mangled from being abused and then makes it through to like the end, I kind of just wish that he would have been like, we would have gotten something else. Like, he was just like a borderline serial killer and nobody knew, and like that's how we got him. I don't know, but I kind of was rooting for this guy.
I thought we were gonna get more of him, but it was like, I feel like we didn't get enough of him.
Yeah,
he kind of just showed up, and then they just killed him off in the end. Like, Angelica lasted longer. And I was like, come on.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get like some PETA vibes. Speaking of like your Hunger Games, like PETA's just the baker's son, like unassuming. No one really notices him.
It's my boy.
And like you said, like he was mangled. They cut off his wings and all that. And I was like, yeah, like that he just happened to survive each trial. Like, I want to see more. Like, how was he fighting? How did he survive? How did he crawl his way through the maze after she like beat him down?
Oh yeah, and he was on that thing to open the door. Like, how did he get through?
Yeah, how did he get through?
Because a body has to be on it.
He already has a bum leg and no wings.
And no teeth.
And no teeth.
Yeah.
And like, she's like, I left him for dead, and then all of a sudden, like, 10 pages later, boom, he's just up on the pedestal with her. Like, I want to know a little bit more.
Yeah, she made it seem like he had this secret.
That's what I thought too.
That's why his parents were trying to kill him. Like, because
he was just so powerful.
Yeah. I don't know. Who you probably won't ever know, but yeah, it's kind of something I was kind of hoping for. But
going back to Rain, same thing with Vincent. I cannot root for Vincent because I still think he was a bad human being or vampire based off of everything that he had done. And I think he still betrayed Araya or me, because I'm hurt still from that.
And I'm hurt.
I feel betrayed. And then Rain, I just felt like it was a different kind of relationship, because as she's going through these trials with Rain, and as he's kind of connecting with her, and really it happens with the trial where their minds are kind of bonded, because she doesn't sense any ill intent towards her. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would be really reassuring for me. Just if that was me within that, and be like, okay, well, I am in this guy's mind, and I know he's not trying to kill me. I know he cares about me. Only for him to withdraw something like that towards the end, want to kill vampires with her, and mess around like, oh, we're still like somewhat human, and like, don't give up your humanity, yada yada yada, and then talk about how awful of a human being or vampire like her dad was, only to just turn around and then kill everybody as well. So like, that really hurt. But I still don't know how to feel even at the end, with Rain because I still feel like he does care about her. But I also don't like the fact that he's like locking her up. He's like forcing her to get married now. I don't even know how to feel. I just feel numb. Maybe that's how she feels at this point too. You know,
I think so.
in the
Yeah,
book,
probably.
she's like, I don't even know what to do now. And then now she has to be a leader, and figure out how to fix the solution. But I mean, like, maybe it was a good thing that they got married because maybe they could unite these two clans. Like, why does it need to be, that we need to murder each other? And if
Yeah.
they had children, then those lines would be tied.
It's very reminiscent of Hurricane Wars ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. True enemy. It wasn't even. It didn't feel like enemies to lovers in the beginning because it was like, yeah, they were kind of, but they were always allies in a way. But then they fell in love, and now I feel like they're enemies because now she's like, I fucking hate this dude.
Yeah, and like you said, she's back where she started now. Like she was mentioning, all she saw was her room because everywhere else was dangerous for her in the palace and outside. And then now she's back in her room.
I think that, like, to your point, Brie, I don't think I ever trusted / or liked Vincent. I do think that in the end, it just made me feel a little soft for him. Because you could tell that he actually did care.
Yeah.
But, no, I do agree, though. It's hard to like this character when he does such horrible things. And, you think about it, too, because it's like, they have their reasoning, but it's that type of reasoning where they're never going to think otherwise. Like, he just says, like, oh yeah, humans are nothing but blood bags. Like, they don't have any purpose, type of thing. So he's not going to change his mind. So you can't really, it's hard to feel love for someone like that. So yeah, I don't think I ever really liked him. I just think that his last, like, words were like, that fucking hurt. That hurt me.
I teared up a little bit when they were like dancing at the little ball thing. I thought that was sweet. And then at the very end, I was like, I teared up a little bit, but I didn't cry.
And if you...
I wasn't sobbing.
Oh, the end, I was sobbing. For sure.
I think with Vincent, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes because, right, Megan, like I said, I was suspicious of him the entire book, but at the end, I really feel like with the vampiric society, he did the best that he could under the circumstances. Like, he had to treat her like a human, and he had to, and it was great because I think he even mentioned, he's like, you have teeth, you're a viper, everyone's going to underestimate you, that's your greatest power. So I think he was doing that to, like, show her that she has strength in herself. And then also he kept her away from everybody so that, she wouldn't be targeted or, like, people wouldn't think to kill her if they knew that she had, like, the secret vampire bloodline. And then also, like, he did the best. Like, he took her, he protected her, quote unquote, by, like, locking her up. But, like, he did care for her at the end. He just couldn't show any, like, love because that would be seen as, like, weakness. So as much as I didn't like him throughout the entire book and I was like, he's going to kill her when he gets the chance, I kind of understand why he did what he did. I mean, like, as like humans that we want to, like, love and cherish kids, like, that's not cool, but, like, he did the best that he could without revealing secrets that would be super dangerous to her. I mean, everything that she did, like, just existing is a danger. But yes, he's like a bad human, but, like, a bad vampire. I think he's probably, like, top bad vampire. Like, he did things that, again, like, people were questioning it. Like, no other king, no other vampire has done this in centuries. Like, he was breaking every rule to protect her and keep her literally under his wing because anywhere else wouldn't be safe.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, though, more after talking about it, I have a theory that, like, because she's obviously half human, half vampire, that whoever her mother is, I think that she probably died, like, horrifically, not by him, but because of him. And he was upset. And then, but I think she was probably killed by humans. I think that they found out that she gave birth to a half vampire child. And
he's overcompensating.
Well, and her humankind killed her. As like, how could you do that? Like, you soiled a human bloodline kind of thing. Like, okay, what's a good example? Castlevania. The animated Castlevania. Did you guys watch it?
No.
Oh, fuck. Well,
I watched like the first like episode. Like I understand like the whole thing with like he left his wife somewhere by herself, and then they came
and the townspeople
like,
killed her because of
yeah.
him. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they found out, and then they were like, "Oh, like you're disgusting because you laid with a vampire," and so they killed her. And then he obviously found out, and then takes revenge on humankind forever. And then doesn't think he has a daughter, and then finds her. But I think that, I think we're gonna get a little bit more of a story on him and how he wasn't so bad in the beginning, but because of a circumstance got progressively worse. That's how I think.
Yeah, and going back to Rain too, like I could put myself in his shoes too. Like I could understand why he betrayed her because of that whole thing where he gave away his master, right? Because he was a slave. He hated this guy, and he was like, "Listen, you can kill this guy, but you know all the innocent people you can't kill." But then he goes in there and murders everybody. So yeah, he's got a freaking vendetta against him. So obviously he's gonna be like, "You killed the woman that I love, and you killed all these people. Like I'm gonna come after you."
Yeah,
and that's valid because he was just as evil. Vincent was just as bad.
Yeah,
right. It's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, I don't think any person is like exempt in like in any situation. I think they're all, you know, Rain, Vincent, all these characters. I think all have their like dark thing going on.
I think it's interesting to see how Araya kind of responds to all of this because I don't even know how to respond. Like I don't even know how to feel right now. So I'm wondering, is she going to continue to have a romance with Rain? Is she going to try to unite everybody? Is something else going to happen where she kind of like does a Feyre and takes everything down from the inside? Like what's going to happen?
That option, that's my guess. I feel like she has existed out of spite for these past 20 years, and now I think like the hatred is burning in there. You know, she was used. She was also like beating herself up about asking Nyaxia to bring Rain back. She's like, what did I do? What did I do? So now I think that she's gonna go like fully scorched earth. That's my guess. That's my hope. I'm petty. I like to hold grudges and let it burn from the inside. So I would hope that's how she does it. But I don't think that she's just gonna automatically be like, let's get married and start having kids.
Yeah. I think another thing I like that the author did was that I didn't feel like this is like your typical fairy tale. I felt like it was pretty brutal, honestly, with the fighting. Like I was worried for Mish or Miche, however you want to say her name. In the beginning, I was like, yo, she's a main character and you're just going to gut her?
I really liked Miche.
Oh, and if you think about it, Araya's gonna see her and she's not going to want to talk to her anymore. Because she knew the whole time.
She knew the whole time. Or...
She did. She has to, because he said that they've known each other since they were, like, children. Or for a really long time, he said.
Well, you know what I wonder, too? I wonder why Rain didn't want to do it initially.
Do what?
He didn't want to join the Kajari. He only joined because
she
did.
Huh. Yeah.
So how does that affect the storyline? Like, what was he planning on doing before? Or were they both like, this is the only hope for our people? Like, we have to do this. And if you're not going to do... You're the only person that I know is strong enough to be able to do this. So I'm going to force you to do it.
So I'm going to be the pessimistic one. I think he fucking lied the whole time. Because if you think about it, every time that we know about that story, like, oh, she entered first, so I went after her, and he was like, oh, a lot of people are relying on me. I think the a lot of people are relying on me part is true, but I think everything else is a lie.
Because we can't trust anybody now.
To get her to believe him, because towards the end, 4:35. He's like, what do you want me to tell you, that I didn't choose you as an ally because of your relationship with Vincent? Yes, I did. That way, I would be easier to kill after. You would be easier to kill after. What'd you say?
I was saying she knew that already. Like, she knew that he was choosing her because of her connection to Vincent.
I just think that to play, because he had a 50-50 chance of, winning it to get what he wanted. Like, obviously, I don't think I don't know. I don't
know either, because now you start talking about Septimus, right?
Yeah,
and he killed himself, I guess. Like, I still don't understand that whole deal that him and Septimus kind of made, right? Could someone explain that to me? I'm just dumb, and I'm not picking up what she's putting down. I'm like, what is happening?
I reread that part twice, and I don't understand. Like,
wait, what part?
So when... Oh, go ahead, Brie.
I was gonna... So, basically, he talks about how the attack on the tower was from the Bloodborne vampires, and that was Septimus framing all of them in order to force a deal between the Roshan and the Bloodborne vampires into fighting together. And there was we don't know what the deal was, what the agreement was. But when he was getting stabbed by Araya, when they were fighting, he was looking past her and looking at Septimus, wasn't looking at Araya, and she noted this. And I guess there was something where he needed to fulfill something, and he allowed himself to die. Do you know what I mean? He had an agreement with Septimus, and instead he allowed himself to die and pulled the dagger into his chest, knowing he wouldn't be able to fulfill whatever he did with this other group, like with the Bloodborne vampires. But we don't know what it was. So can I really say that Rain is evil? And he was actually trying to get over everybody? I don't know. I'm so confused. How would you interpret that, Becca?
I think that Rain is an opportunist. He pushed the blade in. He wanted to die. He's like, I will give this to Araya. I definitely think that he did love her. But the Septimus part, I still don't understand, because he's definitely, I feel like it's Game of Thrones analogy here. I feel like he's like playing some Littlefoot shit.
Littlefinger,
Littlefoot,
the dinosaur.
Land
before time.
Yeah, he's trying to get the tree stars. No. Whereas, like, I can't. After like the one banquet or something, like when Araya went outside for like a breather and he was there, and then again when he was there at the end, at the last Kajari, he, like what Brie was saying, like he's just pulling the strings behind the scenes, but like Rain, I feel like Rain knew that going into it, he was going to die. He's like, I'm not making it out of here. So then he was an opportunist, and once he came back, he was like, yes, now I can use this to kill Vincent. But I don't understand where Septimus comes into play. Because, like, if the plan previously was to die, he had no idea that Araya was going to bring him back. So how does either situation work in Septimus's favor? Because, like, Septimus seemed happy about either situation, either outcome. Kind of like, I don't care if he lives or dies type thing. I was very confused at that too. And like, when he showed up at the party, like, I don't understand what role he plays.
Yeah, I'm very confused by him.
Yeah, I do agree that I think he's a behind the scenes man. Doing what though, I have no clue.
I need answers.
He seems very sketchy, very sketchy.
Yeah. I mean, not as sketchy as getting married in your bedroom.
Against your will.
Against your will, while people were being slaughtered in the streets.
And I loved how, like, Araya's like, I'm not saying it back. And he's like, that's fine, keep it moving.
Yeah. He's like, it's fine, just keep going.
I love how the book ended, too.
Oh, where he was like, are you gonna kill me? She's like, not tonight. Not right now.
Like, not today.
I was like, you already killed him once, you can do it again.
Yeah, right? It's that easy. You did it the first time. Well, that's the end of that, right? Do we want to talk about anything else?
No, I feel like this book is gonna get into a lot more.
Yeah.
I do have one.
Depth.
I do have one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that Rain can use the Asteris, I think it is, which just like
It's like
auto-kill.
night court, like
Power
resand.
word.
Yeah, that's
Kill.
what I was thinking. Like some type
Yeah.
of shadow magic.
Yeah.
Shadow daddy.
Yeah.
Shadow
shit.
Daddy.
Do you guys know like the Amaterasu, like the never-ending flame?
Yes.
Auto kill.
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
Mm-hmm.
Like back to what Brie was saying, if he knew he was gonna, at the end, you know, he was like, I'm just gonna die. If he actually wanted to win, he could have just used that on anybody. That's an auto kill. It's like, was he playing the game from all along? Because he did it to the one guy who was, you know, calling out whoever the friend of whoever Araya killed, and he just did it. So like everyone knew that he could do it, but he didn't do it again.
Yeah, it's at the point where we theorize now, like, did he let the blade slip because he knew Araya would bring him back? Or did he actually just want to die?
Or did he want to win this entire time, and he loved her so much where he's like, I'll let her win.
And whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens,
Yeah.
Or did he play the field where he's like, I'm gonna fall in love with her, and I know she'll bring me back, type gamble?
Because he bounced back so quick. Like, I know I said, like, oh yeah, anyway. But no, he literally, like, he died, came back, gasped for air, and then Nyaxia was like, oh, you're the victor. He's like, okay, this is what I want. Like, he didn't even look at, like, her. Didn't question it. So, like, didn't even skip a beat. So it just makes me think.
Playing the long con.
Yeah.
One other thought that because I'm trying to skim through all like my tabbies. What did you guys think? I think this is, hold on. Was it even before? I'm not sure if this is even before the tower was attacked. Every time she was meeting with Vincent, he would act like something was wrong. Like she would sense that something was wrong.
Yeah.
But she didn't know what. And that was before the tower was even attacked. Do you guys have any thought in regards to that as to what was happening? Like, were the Rashawn actually attacking before then? Because there was no other inkling of an attack, or was Vincent just taking it into his own hands and just attacking and destroying this village? Like, I think attacking and destroying that village happened after the tower. I think that was his, like, retaliation.
Yeah.
But there was, like, signs and symptoms, I think, even before that. Like, she would look at him and be like, what's wrong? I don't know if that was him being concerned for her or what it was.
There were moments where he was concerned, but there were moments, like you said, where she was like, he seems, like, on edge.
Like, he's not telling me what's going on outside of this tournament.
I just imagined that it was, like, an off-screen battle. Like, there was more Rashawn rebellion just off-screen that he was dealing with, which led to the towers being attacked. But then again, like, now we have... That was just a framing that was orchestrated, so... Obviously, Vincent wouldn't know that, but... that's kind of how I took it. I don't know.
I'm just flipping through my books now.
The town that Araya was found, that you were just mentioning, Brie, that, like, was destroyed was Salinae, which was, like, deep in Rashawn territory. I also wonder if that's gonna come back, because that being said, if she was born there, she might have, like, Rashawn blood.
It was also the last stage in the Kajari.
That was fucked.
That was fucked.
I was like, damn.
That's what, but that's why I think too, like, there has to be something else, because Nyaxia chooses all of it.
The stages, yeah.
Yeah, she chooses everything regarding the Kajari, so why would she choose that town?
That's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
you're right. Maybe you're right about, like, she's gonna come back later on to maybe tell her the truth, or maybe try to tell her the truth through, like,
They're, like, walking her through her...
Or make a bargain or something.
Through, like, divine...
intervention.
I don't know, not necessarily divine intervention, but, like, when they talk to them, I guess, in some way.
Yeah, because, like, I think definitely why Vincent like raised the place. I mean, it's like a 2-for-1 deal. You know, it's Rashawn territory, sure, but also that's where she was born. So like, was he trying to like eliminate
Or cover
any
something,
evidence?
yeah.
Or cover something up.
Because what if he found her and her family's still there?
And that was her whole thing. She's like, when I become court, Coriat, Corte,
yeah.
yeah, she was like, even if they might be long dead, she's like, I think like Vincent was saying like he can't go there unless it's like for a war. So I think she was saying like I want to go find my
And
family.
he
They're
knew
most
that
likely to be
too.
there. Yeah, and that's one more thing. He knew. I think that was like him also playing like he's like you're never gonna get to go there, bitch.
yeah, like
He's like keep dreaming, child.
The toxic shit that just I don't know how to feel about him. I'm just like
yeah. That does make sense too. That he could be covering something up.
I need answers.
And I need them now.
But overall, I thought it was a pretty good book. I was very excited because this was the book that I wanted to read initially. The first book that was ever going to get me into reading. I think if I would have read this book, I think I probably would have given this one probably like a 10 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10. If it was the first book that I read.
Yeah. It was definitely a good one. I definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to read it.
Especially if you like vampires. Like me.
Yeah. I like also really great world building. You know me, I'm usually a stickler. It was easy to follow.
Yeah, it was to the point, concise. It wasn't too overly complicated.
And like Reese said, you just got everything in chunks, so like you weren't just absorbing like this girl's entire life story, all of her secrets, all up front.
Yeah,
I really liked how the author wrote it. She thought about it very thoroughly.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was a good one. Good pick, Bree.
Yay! You think book talk and all my starring content.
True, very true. We can thank Book Talk while it's still around for now. Until TikTok goes away, and then we have to use good old Pinterest for book recommendations.
Yep.
Okay. Is that our review then?
That is our review.
Okay. I don't think we said it in the beginning. So that was our review of The Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. We are the Valkyrie Book Club. And yeah, peace out.